What if every time you went out, you could cash in? Now with the Capital One Savor Card, you earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment, like their first taste of guacamole.
Ew, gross. Ugh.
And 4% cash back when you take your kids to the museum for the first time.
Whoa, buddy, don't touch that.
No matter your reason for going out, now you have 4 more. Introducing the new Savor Card from Capital One. Earn 4% on dining and 4% on entertainment. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One Bank, USA, N.A.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Get Into Your Power with the Love Guru. I'm the Love Guru. My name is Blaire, and I'm known as the Love Guru. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive heart healer, psychic, medium, dating and relationship expert, marriage and family therapy and therapist, and horse healer. I'm the creator and founder of a special, unique healing modality called heart healing, which is a form of emotional healing that opens and heals your heart so you can attract the love, have the relationship, and the life that you desire. If you're single and frustrated and fed up, I can teach you an easier, more natural way of attracting love so that you don't have to go out and look for it. So you could say goodbye to dating sites, you could say goodbye to dating apps, you could say goodbye to matchmakers, you could say goodbye to going to restaurants, clubs, and bars and looking everywhere for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. And you can say goodbye to, did I say dating apps? You can say goodbye to dating apps if I didn't say that also. So none of that extra stuff you have to do. Also, if you're in a relationship and unhappy and struggling, I can help you uncover exactly what went wrong in your relationship and guide you as far as how to fix it. Or if you want to move on, I can help you move on with grace and ease, having learned all the lessons in your relationship so that you never have to repeat the same patterns all over again. So I can clear and heal anything and everything that is blocking you from attracting love or having a successful relationship. And sessions are a combination of spiritual teachings, channeled guidance, heart healings, and practical exercises. So on today's show, we're talking about clearing out shame that you may have for your life's path. And before we get into the topic, I want to share that if you would like to speak to me on the air and get some insight and healing and guidance into what's going on in your love life or your life, then feel free to call in. There is a link on the show page. This show is listener supported, which means that if you would like me to give you some guidance and healing and insight on your love life, then there's a link on the show page where you can make a nominal payment, which is much lower than my normal sessions, and you can get some insight that way in this public forum that you can put to action right away. And this is guidance that it's for proactive people. So, we talked about that a little bit in the last episode, or a lot of it, about what it means to be empowered. And when you're empowered in your love life and in your life, you're being proactive. It's not like you're just getting healing work done on you and you're just sitting there and saying, oh, thank you, I feel much more relaxed. You're not getting just like a psychic reading, oh, when am I going to meet the guy? When is love coming into my life? No, there's actually steps that you can take. There's ways that you can work on and align your energy so that you are actually seeing results in your life. And we're going to start talking about that with today's topic. That leads in perfectly with, are you feeling a little shameful about your life's path, about what has happened to you? Because, listen, maybe you are of a certain age. Maybe you're in your late 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and maybe you're still single. And no, you never thought that you would still be single at the age that you're at. And maybe you're a little bit embarrassed about it. There's maybe a little bit of that guilty feeling like you did something wrong, like maybe something's wrong with you, like maybe you should just go hide in your apartment or your house because you don't want people to know that you're still single because, you know how society looks at single people, that they're damaged goods. Now, I'm not saying that that stuff is true. I'm just saying you might be feeling that. You might be feeling shameful about that. You might have been married and gone through divorce, and that might be shameful because, hey, you know, you never thought that you would get divorced. Does anybody ever think that they would get divorced? I don't know. I'm divorced. I never thought that I would be divorced. I also was only married for a short amount of time. I never thought I'd be only married for a short amount of time. You know, I kind of go into this whole thing that I had special circumstances. You know, I was dating and then married to a guy from another country, and yeah, we kind of rushed along because he had to get a green card. Well, he didn't have to, but in order for us to have a, quote, normal relationship, well, you know, little Blaire, Miss Love Guru, wanted us to be in the same country, didn't want to do the long distance thing anymore or really at all. So, you know, let's get on with it. Let's get married. Let's take care of this. Let's get you over here, and let's take care of that. Now, so you might have experienced divorce like me. You know, you have the big D, the D on your head, right? Like the scarlet letter. So is that a little bit shameful? And that's the thing, you know, we're at the end of the year here, and, you know, you sit in this space of being the judger and the judged, you know, and I've been in this place. I've been here for like the last maybe 2 weeks or so. You know, I think there's just been that energy of evaluation of let's go inside. How did we do this year? How did this year come up, you know? So you might be sitting there just like me and being like, you know, how did I do this year? You know, did I make the money I wanted to make? Am I at the place with my career where I wanted to be or where I thought that I should be? You know, how is my love life? How are my friendships? You know, do you have any friends? Do you have a couple of friends? Are your friends just online? Are they just Facebook friends or Instagram friends? You know, I was watching this documentary on Netflix called American Men. And I would highly suggest that movie, not because it was good and not because it was highly depressing, but because I'm going to be talking about it on one of the upcoming shows that I'm doing for my Awakened Warrior show. I'm going to be talking about that documentary. So at least if you watched it, maybe you want to call in and share your 2 cents on the situation, how you viewed it. It was basically a commentary about Instagram and social media and how people really don't have lives anymore in real life, IRL, that everything is just virtual. And, you know, I'll share my psychological and spiritual take on it on that show. But, you know, do you have any friends, IRL, in real life? Or are you just communicating with people online? You know, are you happy about that? Is that embarrassing that maybe, again, you're at a certain age and you don't have any friends or you just have acquaintances? You know, are you too old to be making new friendships? How do you even go about doing that? How do you even have the energy to do that? You know, how do you do it without feeling like a loser? So there's all these areas of our lives. You know, we didn't even talk about family. You know, how are things in the family life? Are you getting along with your family members? Or are you on this spiritual path and that, you know, fortunately or unfortunately, you know, that is a path that you're doing when you get on this journey of healing yourself and getting to know yourself. It is a path of elimination. That is like stage 1 of the journey, is elimination. And you go through a lot of eliminating of friends, of family, of people who don't support you, who aren't kind, all of that stuff. So, you know, do you have any family members left, or are you estranged from everybody because you cut everybody out? Again, no shame in that, but you might be carrying some shame with that. For me, that is something that I really had to work through. That has been coming up for me because I don't really talk to my family anymore. With most of the members in my family, I don't talk to at all, and it has been like that for years. That it wasn't anything that I planned to eliminate family members. I've always had a small family, but through that awakening process, and for me, it was a lot of deep work with clearing childhood wounds. And first off, you have to be awakened to them. So when you get awakened to things like this, you get angry, you get upset, maybe you lash out, and you start not taking any shit from people anymore. So that equates to not wanting to be around people that you think are disrespectful of you. So again, it's a big eliminating thing. So where in your life are you carrying shame? Where in your life are you feeling like, hey, I'm not feeling I'm not feeling good enough, like I'm feeling like I had no idea I would be at this situation in these areas of my life right now at this age. So like I said, this has been the topic for me. This is the end of the year situation. I'm sure it's on the mind of a lot of people. I'm actually putting together a big workshop on this, which is called Putting an End to the Past. I'm going to be hosting it in the New York City metro area. I'm either going to be doing it in the actual city or right outside. And if you are in this area, then keep your eyes out for that. Definitely follow me on Facebook or Instagram. Where else am I? I don't know. Everywhere. Twitter, LinkedIn. It kind of just posts everywhere when I put something up. So keep your eyes out for that if you want to actually put an end to the past. So this is the thing. When we're looking at our life and we're feeling this shame for, where are you? What does your bank account look like? What does your career look like? Are you doing things that you want to be doing? Are you waiting for situations to change? Are you happy with your friends? Are you happy with your family? Are you happy with where you're living? And this is something that you got to take a look at if you're carrying the shame, because part of this journey of getting rid of the shame is stepping from a place of being in victim mode and we'll say karma mode. And like I said, we're going to get into this much more in this workshop that I'm doing, Putting an End to the Past. But for the sake of this radio show, let's talk about karma versus creation versus being a victim versus being empowered. Now, a lot of times when we have shame in our life, it is because we haven't. This is going to be like a hard truth. Maybe you can take it, maybe you don't want to hear it. When we have shame in our life, it's because we haven't really played an active role. Ooh, does that get you? Because that is really where I had to kind of come out of denial with my life. I thought that I was being active in my life. Well, kinda. I also, and this was me being honest with myself, you don't have to share it with anybody else, but it was like part of me was still that little girl. I remember when I was, when was it? Maybe, I think I was home from college one year, or maybe it was like right before I went to school. But I remember laying in my parents' backyard, and I think it was like Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend, and that's a really big weekend. I grew up in New Jersey, so that's a really big weekend in the tri-state area here, and people go down the shore, they go away, and, I'm sure it's big wherever you are too, maybe not. But I remember laying in my parents' backyard and talking to one of my guy friends on the phone, and he didn't have anything to do that weekend. It's like a longer weekend. He didn't have anything to do, and I didn't either, because I never really planned ahead. I'm like such in a way I'm sort of high strung, but in another way I'm super easygoing. So I'm not really like a big person to make plans. I kind of just like doing what I feel in the moment. And I'm not saying anything's bad about that. I'm able to feel the energy really well and then do what I feel the energy is calling me to do. And with that said, I was sitting there and kind of feeling bad for myself that I had really nothing to do. And, he and I, we hung out, and, that's normal for me. I grew up with like a lot of guy friends, and I used to hang out with this guy all the time. So, there was no hanky-panky, but like, even if there was, who cares? But, we ended up hanging out. But I had this memory of this the other day, and I was thinking, wow, all this time has gone by, and I still am sort of operating like that little girl, which I wasn't little then. I was like in my early 20s, but I'm still operating like that girl, thinking that like one day I'm going to have these like great plans and these wonderful things are going to be happening in my life. Meanwhile, year after year, I still do nothing for Memorial Day and nothing for Labor Day. Ooh, that just kind of brings up the emotion, because think of it in your life. If you're single or if you're in a relationship that's not good, I mean, we bring this, I guess we're not really talking about karma right now for this, Spirit's kind of taking me in a different direction, but it's good all the same. But, think of how you are in your love life right now, because this mentality carries over into other areas of your life. So here I'm, as this young woman, this young little lady, Miss Blaire, in her early 20s, is laying on the backyard, unhappy, sad, just kind of laying there while everybody else is doing stuff, feeling like sort of left out, like, okay, I kind of wish I had something to do, but no one's really around, and I didn't make plans, and blah, 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 and I just kind of went with the flow. Meanwhile, years later, I didn't really follow that philosophy with looking for the one. Well, I actually didn't even do it either when I was in a relationship either, and having some issues. But, these are patterns that follow us, that whatever your dominant emotions are when you were younger and how you operate, if you have that, if you're usually kind of sad or depressed, I mean, that carries through your life. And then what happens is that ends up being a dominant emotion that not only paints your past, but also paints your future. So what happens is, I guess now we're talking about karma a little bit here, is that we end up having situations that is one situation after the next that we're not happy about in our life. We end up thinking, oh, that's karma, or that's our destiny, because, whatever, one shitty thing after the next has happened to us. We're single 1 year after the next, or we're in a relationship where we're unhappy one year after the next, or 1 month after the next. We keep thinking that things will change. So that is the thought process that I brought along with me, even though, I was trying different things to change my relationship status and also even things in my life. But the dominant emotions sustain us. And then we end up wondering, oh, is what's happening in my life just my life? And maybe I should come to acceptance about this, because maybe my life sort of is shitty this time around. Oh, it sort of brings in some tears for me. Like, I'm not crying now, but I'm feeling like just emotional, because it's sad. And it's definitely thoughts that have gone through my mind a bunch of times. And I know if I'm feeling it, that I'm also picking up what's going on with the collective. And I definitely pick up a lot of what's going on in my neighborhood, because I know that this is how people feel. This is how people think in where I live. This is the mentality that you live your life and you just kind of drudge through it, and it is what it is, and that's it. So when we have bigger dreams, when we want more for our life, you can't push that shit down, and you shouldn't. But that's what humans end up doing because we carry around this baggage from the past, and it's not karma that's happening to you. It's not destiny that's happening to you. What's happening is you're in a loop of being sad or depressed. You're in a loop of not being active and choosing in your life. So that's the experience of why then you're going to have the feeling of shame. It's one of the reasons. This is like a huge topic. And, the material I'm putting together is like, wow, I'm saying to Spirit, wow, you want me to teach like several days? Like, is this actually like a retreat? Because there's layers of information to go through. So why do you have the shame in the first place? Well, again, one of the reasons is because you're not actively making choices in your life. You're not being an active participant in your life to get things to change. And that might be just like a punch to your gut. It's so like emotional and visual and like sort of like vulgar. But maybe it's time for the wake-up call. Because if you are more active in your life, then you're taking that driver's wheel. I mean, in the spiritual community, we like talking about like own your power, take control, and it's all, again, that rah-rah shit. But what is the way that we actually step into that? And one of the ways is that if you have something that you're wondering about or wanting right now, today, here's the invitation. It's like, make a decision. Go make a choice and go do it today. So if you're like, when is love going to come into my life? And I'm not all about the action. No. I'm about like using your mind, using your energy. That's still action though. We're not talking about hustle. Hustle hard. #hustle. #hustling all the time, or whatever shit people write, So, I mean, that is not about like, hey, go out and go do something about it. Just do anything. Like, even if it is, you have to go like drag your ass to like a meetup, or go drag your ass to the bar. Go and do something, or, like just get unstuck. Do whatever you can to get unstuck. And then at least then you're starting the wheels rolling of being an active participant in your life, rather than, does God have it in the cards for me? Because then what will happen is like intuition will kick in, and spirit or God or the universe, whatever you want to call it, your angels, your guides, will start talking to you of like, do this or go do that, or like whatever, but at least make a choice to do something different. So if like you're at home and you're sitting on the couch and you're not happy because you're eating dinner by yourself every day, or like you're warming up a meal and you're like, this life fucking sucks, because again, what does that turn into? Down the line, a couple weeks, a couple months later, maybe December rolls around and it's like almost New Year's, and you're checking in and you're like, dude, my life was shitty this year. It was another shitty year, So then what happens is those habits, they end up working against us. And rather than just saying like, okay, well then, rather than today me eating on my couch, I'm going to go like sit in the park and eat, or I'm going to go to McDonald's and eat. I am not a supporter of McDonald's. That's why that is funny to me. You would only know that if you really knew me. But if that's what makes you happy, then go get it. And also, if it's something different, at least then you go sit in the McDonald's. You pay the 99 cents or however much their burger is these days. What do they call their burger? It's not the Whopper, but like it's, I don't know. So at least you're doing something. You're moving the energy because it's been stuck. And then at least you can say that at the end of the year or even at the end of the month, hey, I gave it a hell of a try. You know, at least I started moving the ship in a certain direction. And then again, Spirit starts moving you in the way that, I don't know, you want to go. You know, the universe is here to support us. So we have to, like, a lot of times, like, we as humans have been trained to say, like, okay, let's see what comes about and let's just kind of wing it, or life just happens to us. When what happens is we are the controllers. We decide in our mind what is our intention, what do we want, and then the universe responds to that call of what you want. So fine, you know, you, God, Spirit, the universe might know that you want a relationship, or you want to make a lot of money, or you want advancement in your career. But then if you are in a pattern of having anxiety, loneliness, sadness, frustration, anger, pain, oh, poor me, oh, my life sucks, oh, this is not getting better, you know, whatever those are that are just repeating in your mind over and over and over and over again, and we're totally unaware of what these unconscious thoughts are most of the time. So again, this is a process, and I'm happy to help guide you through this. You know, Spirit's been working its magic on me because I was like, hell no, I am done with the past. I am done with these repeating patterns. I have learned that my go-to is sadness. I've had this sadness since I've been young, and whether it belongs to me or belongs to my family members, or I learned it from them, or I learned it from my friends or society or my teachers or whoever the hell I picked it up from, you know, that's done with. I can't be that person anymore. And that's the same thing with you. You can't be the person that you have been being and expecting for your life to get better. It's not going to happen. So, final thoughts here. By the time we're like 30, 35, your life is pretty much cemented in stone of how you're going to be thinking and how you're going to be being, and you're sort of in a Groundhog's Day that shit is going to repeat over and over and over and over and over again, because we are so accustomed to the way our brain is wired and fired and how it just goes in the routine of things repeat and repeat and repeat. So if you want something to change and you don't want to keep feeling that sadness for your life and that guilt and that shame for how things are turning out, then it's time for something to change. And what that means is it's time for you to change. And what that means is it means different things for different people. It means you got to get control of your mind. You got to become aware of your unconscious thoughts. You got to make them conscious. You got to be aware of what your energy is. You got to control your energy. And it sounds like a lot of work, and it is a fucking lot of work. But there's people who can help you along the way. I can help you along the way. Maybe your neighbor can help you along the way. Whoever you want to help you can help you. But first off, you got to help yourself. And that's where we're going to end that today, is you got to help yourself. If you're not happy with how your life has turned out, you need to make the change. You need to make things different. Life is just not going to change for you just randomly, magically, wonderfully. It is going to change because you are changing it. You are changing yourself, and then the life will mirror that for you. So with that said, my website is loveguru.net. You're welcome to come visit me there. Follow me on all the social media. To the ladies counting down in my head, follow me on all the social medias. If you would like to keep in touch, I would be happy to connect with you. And again, if you're in the New York City metro area or you want to travel in for this workshop, which is maybe turning into more of a retreat, then keep on the lookout for that, because that's the class that I am doing, putting an end to the past. And that is the material that Spirit has been taking me through, because I have fucking had enough, right? It's enough of being a spectator, an observer of one's life, waiting for the mission just to happen, waiting for life to just change, waiting for the career to get better, waiting for money to get better, waiting for the love life to get better, waiting for family to get better, waiting for friends to get better, and on and on and on. The one life, you have to live it now. Step it up. This is the best time of the year to get that reality check. So thank you again for being with me, being here. I love you guys. Loveguru.net, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
What if every time you went out, you could cash in? Now with the Capital One Saver Card, you earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment, like their first taste of guacamole.
Ew, gross. Ugh.
And 4% cash back when you take your kids to the museum for the first time.
Whoa, buddy, don't touch that.
No matter your reason for going out, now you have 4 more. Introducing the new Saver Card from Capital One. Earn 4% on dining and 4% on entertainment. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One Bank, USA, NA.